Welcome back to Light Talk, where everyday people can share their spiritual journey experiences with a safe and supportive community. If you would like to be a guest on the show or know someone that would like to tell their stories and be a guest, email lighttalk423 at gmail.com. While you're at it, please click on your like, share, and subscribe buttons. And today we're going to welcome Daniel Jackson to our show. Welcome.
Yeah, here I am, Daniel Jackson. My regular name is Daniel Jackson. My middle initial is M. I don't tell people what my middle name is because I don't like it myself. Uh, but um, but my professional name is Spirit Medium Daniel. That's what I do. People even on my telephone. When I get a message on my telephone, it comes up. It's a little saying. It comes off of that movie, The Sixth Sense. It's that little boy. It says, "I see dead people." So whenever I'm somewhere and that goes off, somebody looks at me and goes, "I do too." And I go, "No, I really do." And then look at me and go, "Really?" I go, "Really?"
Really?
So yeah, I'm just like him, except I'm grown up. And I see them same way he sees them, just like that. Yeah,
Awesome.
yeah, been that way for a long time.
Nice, nice. So, how long has this been going on for you, Daniel?
Since I've been 3 years old.
Since three. Okay.
Yeah, my parents and I, my two brothers and sister grew up in a house in New Jersey. And in this town, there was a battlefield there where the Hessians fought. There was a little hospital there. And a lot of the houses around that area were experiencing the same thing as well as we were. There was a time when my sister was getting ready to go to school. My mom was helping her in the bathroom, and they stepped in front of a doorway that had a door that had a mirror on the front of it. And when they did, there was another woman standing in the mirror, and she had a colonial outfit on. There was one time when my brothers and I were watching TV, and upstairs in my sister's room, she had a record player. And while we were watching TV, her record player turned on. But the crazy part was it started switching records. So it would pick a record up and put another one on and play that music and then take it off and put another one on. So yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Apparently they liked Pink Floyd and Alice Cooper. So
Pink Floyd.
yeah. Yeah, I guess they like being comfortably numb because they were comfortably numb. But yeah. Yeah, then and these occurrences happened daily. We just, I explained it to people that when we were kids and our mom and dad fed us green beans, and then 30 years later, you like green beans. Why? Because you get used to it. You just do. But it wasn't until I was around 17, my dad got a different job, and we moved down to Delaware. And at that point, it was just me and my brother, one brother, and my mom and dad. But I was the only one who was continuing to see everything. But I don't just see them; I see them, hear them, feel them, smell them. So, I mean, there was a time I was in a rock band. I played drums, so I had big hair and I wore zebra striped spandex because I thought I was cool. But I laid down in bed when I came home from a gig, and something laid down next to me. And I laid down three or four times. I could feel the pillow squish down. Um, but I rolled over to see what was there with me, and whatever was there picked up the blanket that I had on top of me, and it brought it up to the ceiling and shook it above me, and then it dropped it on top of me. So, and then from 2 years after that, Dana, I slept on the couch because I was scared. So, but I
Yeah.
mean, you get used to it. It's just that was a little bit more extreme than what normally happens. But you do get used to it. There was one time my girlfriend and I were watching TV in another room because I decided I'll move to another room. It'll be better. No. Um, and we were watching Rocky Horror Picture Show, and she was at the foot of the bed, and I was at the other end, and something about 4 feet long and about 2 feet thick, white and milky looking, snaked its way out of my closet and was moving across the room, and then it disappeared. And she just looked at me and she was like, "Did you see that?" I said, "Yeah, I saw that. Let's get out of here." So, but again, some of it is extreme, some of it isn't. It just, it was continuing throughout my life, my entire life. And I would just get used to it. People called me sensitive to it. I would see things, hear things, so, but it wasn't until I was about getting ready to turn 50s when it came to a head, to its extreme point when my wife that I have now. We were living in Delaware, and she went to California to visit her daughter for 2 weeks. And for those 2 weeks, I saw everything you could imagine that was in a scary movie happening in my house. So green and red mist pouring out of the walls with skulls and red eyes and fangs, and um, these clouds coming out of the bedroom, coming out of the corner of the room. You know, one night it'd be red, the next one would be green, and the next one would be blue, and then it'd be red with black stripes, green with black stripes, blue with black stripes. 7-foot skeletons walking around the house. The hat, the Hat Man, saw the Hat Man. So, yeah, I experienced a lot of stuff, and she came home from her vacation and told me about her adventures, and then I told her about mine. And she had known prior because I had told her some things, but I told her this stuff, and she thought she's a nurse, and she thought maybe I'm diabetic, and she thought maybe some of the medicines I was taking was causing me like a psychosis for my diabetes. But after being home for a few days, she started seeing some of the same things that I did, and it was happening all the time. I was getting to the point where I'd go to work and come home, and I wouldn't even want to go to sleep in my own bedroom because there's so much happening all the time. But we went on the internet and tried looking up things to help us, and I tried to have a priest come to the house and do an exorcism. They don't do that anymore, but besides that, it doesn't make a difference because that's not real anyway. Um, we put salt around the room, put all the crosses up. Well, the only thing that does is make your room salty, and the crosses don't do any good because the actual cross, is a form of punishment, and you can't make bad things go away, but with a form of punishment. Um, so we had a paranormal group come to the house, and they investigated, and they took pictures of me walking around the house, either me alone or with me with one of the members of the group. And every time it was me in the picture, I had 15 or 20 light orbs completely surrounding me at all times. So they did a test where they wanted me to go into my bedroom and pretend I was sleeping. And this was at nighttime. And they walked in with a spirit box, and then they turned it on. And then that's when the really came through. It started spitting out words. It said Michael, Wendy, Paul, Helen, said unique, energy, light, special. One time it said the word road, like a street, road, and then a car went past the house. And I was laying in bed going, what's going on here?
Hmm.
Because I'd never heard that so much. It's when they started asking questions. They asked questions for 10 minutes. It answered for 10 minutes. And it answered in complete sentences, not
Oh,
just
wow.
like regular here a word or here or there or run on thing. They were having a conversation. They
I,
asked one of the questions were, "Are you here to harm Daniel?" And then it spoke in that computer voice. It said, "No, we are not here to harm Daniel. We love Daniel. We love Daniel's light. Daniel is the light." When it said Daniel is the light, I was concerned with it. I didn't know what that meant. That was really strange, but went on for 10 minutes, and those guys got done. They walked out, and then I walked out, and they were having a conversation amongst themselves. And I said to my wife, "What's going on?" She said, "I don't know, something important." And they turned around, and I said, because I was excited that they were there, because they were experiencing the same things my wife and I were experiencing. So I knew I wasn't crazy. My wife and I were at that point where we're at our wits' end. We didn't know what to do. So this we were thankful for because they were picking up on the same things. And I said to those guys, kind of excited, "Did you hear all that? That was great, right?" And the guy said, "Well, yeah, but there's an issue, Mr. Jackson." And I said, "What's the issue? It didn't sound horrible or anything." He said, "Well, we can get that box to say a few words here and there, but it never says sentences." And it said sentences for 10 minutes. He said it was exactly 10 minutes. I timed it. And I was like, "Okay." He said, "Well, we got to figure all this out because they got all kinds of information from there, but it was a lot that they got." And they said, "We'll be back in 2 weeks and we'll give you a big reveal." Well, they never came back. Um, I tried to get a hold of them. It took about 6 weeks. And by the time I did get a hold of someone, he said that they were never coming back. that they were too afraid to come back. He said when they got on my front lawn, they quit because they were so afraid. He said they don't
Really?
experience that from just one home or one place. It always takes them to be 10 or 15 homes to get that kind of information, not just one. So I didn't know what to do at that point, except well, I said to him, I guess you're not going to help me. I got to find some other help. He said, yeah, I don't feel comfortable coming back into your home. I said, all right, well, thanks, but no thanks. So we ended up still seeking information. I found 5 different mediums, and none of them knew each other. None of them knew me, but they all told me the same story about me. And one of them in particular wanted me to come to her show to see how she does it. That's how she said, I want you to see how I do it. I was like, do what? You know, I didn't know what she was talking about, but I bought some tickets and went. And when my wife and I walked through the door, she was standing on a stage. She immediately saw me and locked eyes with me. I didn't tell her I was coming. She just locked eyes and looked at me and followed me through the room. My wife said, that was kind of creepy. I said, yeah, that was. I don't know what that's all about. I didn't tell her I was coming here. So she knew I was coming, but she didn't know when I was coming because she had a whole bunch of different shows. So she did her show and she explained it to people how she does it, where she gets messages, she gets pictures, and they show her pictures of things. And so she said, when they show me pictures, I'll say what it is. And then if it equates to somebody, just stand up and let me know who it is. And the second person that came through and showed her pictures was my dad. She said that there was a man here named Robert, goes by Bob, and he wears T-shirts, but and flannel shirts, but he wears suits to work. And the way that he died, he fell down, and that was the cause of death. And I said, that's me, that's my dad. I said he fell down going up a flight of steps, and it moved his brainstem, and that's why he died from blunt force trauma.
I'm
But his
sorry to
name was
hear that.
Robert. That's all right. I still see him.
Yeah.
But
It's pretty cool, isn't
yeah, well,
it?
yeah, but I mean, I miss him. But
Of
yeah,
course, yeah.
but yeah, his name was Robert, and he goes by Bob, and wears t-shirts and flannel shirts, and then she said he's showing her a picture of a school bus and prison bars, and somebody wearing scrubs with like a stethoscope around their neck. And I said, yeah, that's me. I said, I just went back to school, and I went to school for medical records, and now I work in prison. So it was just too much stuff that she was saying. I mean, she even asked me, who was Sarah? And I said, Sarah, my niece? She said, no, Sarah, who had to make the big decision for your dad to pass away. And I said, oh, that's my mom. Her middle name is Sarah. She's the one who had to tell the doctors to pull the plug. So it was just too much stuff coming through. So at the end of the show, I went down to introduce myself and said, hello, my name's Daniel Jackson. And she said, oh, I talked to you a couple of days ago on the phone. I said, yeah. She said, I want you to stay here. Don't go anywhere. Wait till these people leave because we need to talk. I felt like she was a teacher and I was like a 7-year-old kid because I was like, oh crap, I did something wrong, you know? But everybody left. And then she said, so you're seeing some spirit, are you? I said, lady, it's like being in a room with 1,000 people, except nobody leaves and more just keep coming in. And that's how it is even to this day. It doesn't change. It's never changed. I just see them all the time. And but I don't just see people. I see dogs, cats, horses, cows, fish. I see other beings from other worlds. I see everything. I see things that I try to explain to other mediums, and they look at me like a deer in headlights because they don't see what I see. But there's a reason for that. I just have something that they don't have. I have something that no other medium has, but I just deal with it. So,
You're
but she said,
special
yeah, well, more than
in a
you
good
know.
way.
Um, more than you know. Something that if I tell it to you, you'll ask me, how do you deal with that? Because it's that kind of thing. Um, so she said, well, I know you see them, but why you see so many is the deal. And I said, why do I see so many? She said, when you walked in the room, I saw you come in. I said, yeah, my wife and I thought that was kind of strange. She said, well, I see you the same way spirits see you. She said, I don't see a body frame because spirits see your body frame and they see a light inside of you. I don't see that. And I said, what do you see? She said, you look like a figure, but you look like a light figure, just light, and a figure. And I was like, okay,
So she
what's that
saw you
mean?
like a apparition then?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And I said, what's that supposed to mean? She said, well, spirits see you like that. Okay. And she said, the reason you look like that and they see you like that is because they think that you're the light into heaven. And I was like, all right. And she said, well, what do you want to do with it? I said, what do you mean? What do I want to do with it? I don't know what to do with it. That's why I'm here. I'm trying to figure this out. I didn't even know I was that. And she says, you are that. But you have to make a decision if you're going to move forward with this and use this ability that you have. I said, what ability? She said, you're a medium. You're just untrained. And you need to either be trained and move forward with this ability or just let it go. And I looked at her and she said, I know you don't want to let it go. And I said, well, it's been a part of my life my entire life. I mean, I'm getting ready to turn 50 years old. So it's been a long time, but I don't know what to do with it. And she said, you need to have a sit down talk with God and talk to him and decide and let him know what you're going to do. So after that, my wife and I left and we talked about it on the way home. And I got home and I said to her, how do I have a talk with God? And she said, how do you have a talk with God any other time? You just do, don't you? I said, yeah. She said, well, I guess you need to talk to him about this. So, I mean, she puts everything into perspective for me, which is great. So I went into my bedroom with the lights out and I basically said, if this is what you want me to do, I'll do. If this is what you want me to be, or you want me to help these souls, if this is what you want me to do, I'll do it. But I don't know what I'm doing. I need your help. I need some type of help from someone or something to guide me to show me what to do. Because if this is what you want me to do, I'll do it. I'll do it 110%. Whatever you want me to do, I'll go wherever you want me to be. I was basically I was at rock bottom. I was I thought I was going insane. For everything that I was seeing and feeling and experiencing, I thought I was going insane. So I expressed my deepest feelings about it to him. And then I came out of the room and said to my wife, all right, well, we'll just see what happens because I didn't know what was going to happen from that point. I didn't know what I was saying yes to at that point either. I just said, I'll do whatever you want me to do. And I really didn't realize what I was saying yes to. Everything did eventually change within the next few months. I stopped seeing all those crazy skulls with the red eyes and stuff. I all that stuff went away, and I started seeing more faces and more people, and they just they talk to me, and they talk to me or around me. But it's who after that that I started seeing with these. I'd go to bed at night and I'd see these beautiful, like glowing bluish white light coming out of the floor up through the ceiling. And eventually they showed themselves to me, their true selves to me, and why they are with me. I have archangels with me all the time. I
How
have
awesome.
all of them with me, and all of them's not 12 or 14. We can't count that high, how many there are. When I see archangels, I see their true form. I see 8-foot praying mantises standing around me. I see some that look like owls, some that look like other birds and reptiles, and some look humanoid, and some don't look human at all. I see them, I hear them, I feel them, I communicate with them. They touch me on my face for yes and no. This is yes across my eyebrow. This is no. It feels like a tear running down my face. In the beginning, it was 2 touches by 2 archangels, a Helen and a Manos, and then I've got a general no. These are general yeses. And then it has progressed throughout the 7 years since I've been this, and now it's 52 touches by 52 archangels. One of them is actually Jesus, not an archangel, and the other one who touches me on my eyelid right there on the edge where the eyelash is God. He's touched me 6 times. I've seen him 5 times. He has spoken to me 8 times and 3 times through a channeled session with other people.
Yeah. Tell
One of
them
those
all
people I
hi
just
for
met.
me.
What's that?
Tell them all hi for me.
As you are speaking now, they hear you
And I
because
thank
as you
you
just said
all.
hi, they just touched me on my forehead.
Oh, hugs to
That's
you
saying
all.
hello. Yeah. They're always here. They're never not here. But I am to try to tell people there are some myths in this world that we have been talked into or people have wanted us to believe in from TV and movies. Regular people, they don't have angels following them around. No one has a guardian angel following you around. You do have spiritual guides who are with you. The only reason you would have an angel with you is because you're performing a specific task that God wants you to do, and you are aware of that task. And that task is you helping in a very big way, helping lots of people, helping in a very big way, because that's our true purpose. The purpose is not becoming a doctor, a lawyer, or a basketball player. We're here to help each other just for the sake of helping, not because you can, but because you should. And that is our true purpose. And you'll perform your true purpose while being one thing, human. That's it. But yeah, you don't need an angel to go get a cup of coffee. You just don't.
No, no.
So,
I
but
had
they are here with me, and they answer me. I am in communication with them all day. It never turns off. It never goes away. In the beginning, it was 5% of the time they would put information into my mind and tell me things and touch me. Now it's 90% of the time.
That's so awesome. My biggest story with that is I was going to work one time, and I was stopped at a stoplight, four-way stop, and I kept hearing this voice in my head saying, "Get gas." And I'm like, "No, I don't need gas." I argued with them. I
Maybe you
did.
didn't think so. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't think so.
Why would you
But
argue with them?
oh, yeah, I was like, "No, I don't need it. I'll get it later." But that wasn't the answer. And
Right.
they took my will. Whoever was with me, my angels, whoever it was, I thanked them for this. But they took my wheel and my steering wheel started turning, and my car went into the turning lane to get gas. So I go, "Okay, you win. We're getting
Pure
gas."
energy that can help manipulate other energy, but yeah, just spiritual guides. That's all. Just trying to help you without you knowing they're helping you because you needed that help without even knowing it until probably later on.
Yep,
You
yep,
probably would have figured out that, oh, I actually did need some gas. So yeah, and
yeah,
that's the way they do things. And they're here to they are trying to help us, but we don't listen very good. We need to learn to listen, trust, and follow through. And we don't do that. I do it every morning. I wake up in the morning, and then like I have my phone here, but I pick up my medications because I'm diabetic, and I'll look at it in front of me. And as soon as I look at it, I get touch no. I go okay, and I put it down. I pick up the next one, I get touch yes, and then I pop it open, take the pill. I do everything they tell me to do. When I'm riding on my motorcycle, if I'm riding down the street and I say to myself, I got to take this right hand turn, I get touch no. Oh, what do you want me to do? Take the next right hand turn? I get touch yes. I take that right hand turn. You know what was going to happen at the other one? I don't know and I don't care because they're looking out for my best interest because they want me to be able to be here doing what I need to do. And in order to do that, I have to be here physically in order and able to do it. So they're trying to prevent me from doing other things that may happen to me if I didn't listen.
yeah.
And that's what happens to people. That's why they get into car accidents. That's why they do dumb stuff because they're not listening. They're not trusting and they're not following through.
I
And that's
learned
what
a lesson
spiritual
on.
guides are trying to do.
Yeah, I learned a lot off of that one because by the time I did get to work, there was something that had happened, and the whole works with their ambulance, please, the whole works. So yeah, I was very thankful. I thanked them a lot to not allow me to be in that situation because I don't think I
Correct.
could have handled it, and I think that's why they held me off
Correct.
because I couldn't deal with it.
Yep. But they want us to listen for everything of our entire lives. But
Yeah.
people don't. People ask God for things out of desperation. And why don't they get answered? Because they're asking out of desperation. If they would listen, trust, and follow through with all the messages they get all the time. When you wake up in the morning and something tells you to go to the mall today, go to the mall because you're supposed to have experiences. You're supposed to meet up with people. It may not be super significant, but it is always significant to you. Okay, it means something for you on your path. But if you're constantly talking yourself out of things because you're using your ego and your free will too
Mm-hmm.
much, then these things that are meant to happen will not happen, and then you'll remain on the incorrect path. And when you're made on an incorrect path, you'll return again. We call it reincarnation, but you'll return again. Why? Because God doesn't punish us. We punish ourselves. That's why.
Yes. That's a big lesson I have been
Yeah.
learning. Yeah.
Learning lessons and fulfilling your purpose. And your
Yeah.
fulfilling your purpose is very easy. It's just fulfilling your purpose is you're going to help someone to do something they cannot do for themselves. You're helping them to figure it out for themselves. So
Right.
that's what we're here to do and help each other do that all the time. But in order to get through those moments in your life to help those people, you have to get through your lessons quickly. If you walk through a doorway and there's a nail in the floor and you trip over the nail, how do you fix that lesson? Well, you go get a hammer and bang the nail back in. But not everybody does that because they just can't figure it out because they're not good learners. So they trip over it 4 or 5 times. I knew people who tripped over everything their entire lives because they just couldn't figure it out. I worked around them. It was called prison. And these were inmates, and they just haven't figured out that they're not good criminals. So they stay in prison all the time. No, get out and do something better with your
Do something
lives. You
better.
could because you have a choice to do that,
Hmm.
but you got to make good choices.
Yeah. Well, Daniel, I sure appreciate you being with us today. Our time is up, and it makes me sad because we could talk some more.
I know.
We talk forever, you know.
I know.
It's just that kind of thing, and
Yeah, I did a podcast with a guy last night. It was called the 2 Hour Podcast. It went for 3 hours.
oh my, oh
Yeah.
my, yeah. Well, I hope to have you on the show again because I know we
Yeah,
have
anytime.
much more to talk about,
Yeah,
you
we'll
know,
do a
on
part
this.
two.
Yeah, yeah, we can do that. We can do that. Um, so I'm going to say goodbye right now. So we'll chat with you next time. But for all my listeners, if you have a story to tell, any kind of spiritual journey experiences, please email lighttalk423@gmail.com, and we will talk to you all later. Thanks again, Daniel.
Thank you.
Bye.